Welcome to the episode 27 summary of the Reading Finnegans Wake in 200 Sessions podcast, where we analyze Finnegans Wake by James Joyce 3 pages at a time. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment to support us. Today, we're going to take on what a lot of people consider the Mount Everest of literature, James Joyce's Finnegans Wake. It has this reputation for being, completely unreadable. But what if it's not? What if it's just a different kind of reading experience? We're going to zoom in on one passage that seems totally impossible and show you that it's not nonsense at all, but actually a brilliantly constructed puzzle. And we're going to give you the tools to solve it. So, here it is, Exhibit A. At first glance, this is just word salad, right? It's designed to be as confusing as a dream you can't quite remember when you wake up. I mean, null, medical square? It feels completely random. But this is the mystery we're here to crack. And believe it or not, every single word in here is a deliberate clue. Exactly. That's the question. And to answer it, we're going to become literary detectives. We're going to follow the clues that Joyce has left for us piece by piece. And by the end, I promise you, this bizarre testimony won't just make sense, it'll actually reveal the entire method to Joyce's madness. So grab your magnifying glass, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, in any investigation, we need to figure out who's who and where we are. So who is this witness that's giving all this strange evidence? Well, the text gives us some very specific and very sneaky details. The witness is just called WP, but with Joyce, nothing is ever that simple. WP isn't just initials, it's a whole resume. He's a witness for the prosecution, sure, but he's also a warming pan, which is old slang for a substitute, kind of hinting that he's a fake, a bot witness, and he's a word painter. So right away, we have a character who is official, corrupt, and an artist, all at the same time. Joyce builds this entire profile from puns and references. The witness is an eye, ear, nose, and throat specialist, which is a direct dig at one of Joyce's real-life acquaintances. And his address, Null Medical Square, is this amazing joke. Null is German slang for a public toilet, and Marion Square was Dublin's prestigious medical district, so he's both high-class and lowbrow in the same breath. Then you add mixer, which is slang for a troublemaker, and you get this really contradictory, really human character hidden in just a few lines. Okay, so now that we have a bit of a handle on our witness, let's move on to the language he's using. In the dream logic of Finnegans Wake, every single word is like a key that's waiting to unlock multiple doors. We're moving from the who to the what was said. The testimony seems to hinge on this really strange memory, the filth of November. It sounds kind of poetic, maybe a little gross, but it's definitely not what you'd expect to hear in a courtroom. This is our next big clue. And this, right here, is a perfect illustration of Joyce's method. The filth of November is a pun on the famous chant, "Remember, remember, the 5th of November," from the Guy Fawkes plot. But wait, there's more. Filth was also old slang for a prostitute. So in one little phrase, Joyce connects historic treason with a sexual scandal. It's not just one meaning, it's like a chord of meanings all being played at once. Let's look at another piece of evidence from the testimony. The whole reason for this conflict is described as the boar's trespass on the bull. Again, it sounds kind of biblical, or maybe agricultural, but the real story is so much bigger, and it's all packed into just these 6 words. Here's the breakdown. Boer immediately makes you think of the Boer Wars, right? The conflict between Dutch farmers and the British Empire. And who's the cartoon personification of Britain? John Bull. So Boer's trespass on the bull is the entire Boer War in a nutshell. But Joyce, of course, goes deeper. The Boer, a farmer, a tiller of the ground, is an echo of the biblical Cain. And the bull, representing livestock, a keeper of sheep, echoes Abel. So all of a sudden, a modern colonial war is also the very first murder in the Bible. It's the story of brother against brother, fighting over land, just repeating itself over and over throughout history. So this testimony is also full of characters, but their names are just as layered as everything else. Joyce populates his world with ghosts, figures whose names echo other myths and other songs, all of them haunting this one single scene. The central figure in the witness's story is this man, Hyacinth O'Donnell. It's a fine-sounding Irish name, but like everything else we've seen, it's a mask. And what's hiding behind it is absolutely central to the entire book. The key here is the sound. The initials HOD sound just like hod, that tool builders use to carry bricks on their shoulder. And who famously carried a hod? Tim Finnegan from the old Irish ballad Finnegans Wake, about a builder who falls off a ladder and is then resurrected at his own wake.
So this character isn't just some guy. He's an echo of the book's title character, representing the builder, the fall, and rebirth.
And then the court asks about this person. Is this the most ridiculous name in all of literature? Possibly. It's just this cascade of historical figures, Norse gods, and Saxon kings. It looks like pure chaotic absurdity, but it's actually the most important identity puzzle in the whole book.
If you take the first letter of each name, Herecomes, you get it. Here comes everybody. This is the famous acronym for HCE, the book's central figure. He isn't one man, he's every man. He's a universal father figure, a sinner, a king, a giant. He literally contains all of human history inside his name.
This whole idea of containing all of history leads us right to our next big concept. For Joyce, history isn't a straight line from the past to the present. It's a circle. It's a cycle where everything is happening all at once. And he proves it by embedding all of time into this one little courtroom scene. Just look at how one event contains echoes from across 1,000 years. A phrase hides laudabiliter, the decree from 1155 that gave Ireland to England. The Mise of Lewes from 1264 is mentioned by name. We already saw the Boer War from 1899. And Temora refers to Tara, the seat of the ancient Irish kings. You've got the Norman invasion, medieval politics, colonialism, and Celtic myth, all happening right here in the same moment. For Joyce, all of history is happening right now. And now we come to the climax of the testimony. After collapsing all of history and identity into one place, Joyce needs to represent the central event of his universe, the fall. And I don't just mean Adam's fall, but every fall, every scandal, every crash. And he does it with sound. Seriously, think about that for a second. It's an incredible artistic challenge. You can't just rate boom. It has to have the feeling, the place, the sin, and the sound of the catastrophe itself. So how on earth did Joyce do it? He did it with this. This is one of the 10 famous thunder words in Finnegans Wake, a 100-letter monster that looks like a cat just walked across the keyboard. But just like everything else we've looked at, this is not random. It is a piece of brilliant linguistic engineering. Let's break this thing down. The feeling. It starts with bladdy uffle, which sounds a lot like bloody awful. The place, Mokelenburg, is Mocklenburg Street, which was the heart of Dublin's historic red light district. The sin, the word is absolutely crammed with terms for prostitute from over 8 different languages. And finally, the sound. It actually embeds part of the Hungarian word for thunderclap, menja kochapas. So, you see, this isn't just a long word, it's an auditory event. It's the sound of a sexual scandal happening in Dublin's red light district that is also, somehow, the sound of a cosmic historical collapse. It's the sound of HCE's fall from grace. It is the big bang of the book's entire universe. And that's how we crack the code. What we've just done here is basically apply the decoder ring for reading Finnegans Wake. Every single word has layers of meaning. He packs all of history and myth into these dense little puns. Everything connects in weird ways, just like in a dream. It's an incredibly complex puzzle, for sure, but as we've just seen, it is designed to be solved. It's not meaningless, it's almost over-meaningful. Ultimately, this just shows that you shouldn't approach Finnegans Wake like a normal novel that you read from front to back. It's more like a landscape or a dream world that you can enter at any point and just start exploring. We've just decoded one tiny little corner of that world. So the only question left is, where will you explore next?